brings me to this next question, which is I feel like I'm doing all the things, but I have not healed. Okay, after coaching thousands and thousands of people over the last handful of years, I want to share with you the two most common reasons that people struggle to heal. The first one, believe it or not, is they're just not practicing and embodying the work. Like maybe they've listened to the workshop and maybe they've read some stuff and they're like, oh, this is a great concept. They're not actually embodying it. Okay, we talk so much in here about how it is not enough to understand and hear the, like you have to become this work. That's when healing happens, is when we actively apply the practices and show up and do them even when it's hard. That's reason number one. Reason number two is they're still doing the work with the wrong mindset. And what I mean by this is that healing is as much about our mindset as it is about our action. And if we continue to approach healing with a fixing mindset, meaning you're still doing all the healing work just to make the symptoms go away, the reason you're coming to the breath work practice, the processing emotions practice, the reason you're doing those things is because you're trying to make something go away. You will perpetuate them. It is so important that you guys understand this. That is what kept me from healing for a very long time. I want to talk a little bit about the difference and just kind of lay this out for you guys between a fixing mindset, which is going to prevent healing, and a healing mindset. Okay, a fixing mindset. There's often urgency, right? Demanding quick results and the fastest possible relief from symptoms. That is a fixing mindset. Healing mindset, patience, embracing the journey, understanding that healing can take time. Just shifting to the patient mindset will actually allow you to get there so much faster than being stuck in urgency and forcing. Frustration, also a huge part of the fixing mindset. Just constantly feeling annoyed and frustrated and impatient when the solutions aren't working as you expected. Versus compassion, offering grace and understanding to yourself, your body, and your symptoms. Massive shift. Think of what is happening in the nervous system when we shift from urgency to patience, frustration to compassion. That's why we talk so much about self-compassion. Having kindness and understanding for ourselves. Okay, also in the fixing mindset category, symptom focus, just concentrating on eradicating the symptom. Not really thinking about the whole picture or the root cause, but just need to get rid of this symptom. And then healing mindset, more of a holistic approach where you're looking at the whole self, mind and body, thinking about long-term healing. A fixing mindset also has a lot of doubt, just not even believing in the mind-body connection and your ability to heal versus trusting the process. Having confidence in the body's ability to heal itself when given the right conditions. Control, huge in the fixing mindset, just forcing and just trying to control every aspect of the outcome versus surrender. Just letting the healing process unfold with time when it wants to, no forcing, no control, just letting go. Also under the fixing mindset, self-neglect, blaming yourself avoids healing work, numbs emotions, and criticizes slow progress or setbacks. So many of you are so hard on yourselves. What is it that I'm doing wrong? What am I not smart enough? Why can't I figure this out? That alone, that internal dialogue alone is enough to keep you stuck, enough to keep the nervous system stuck in a state of perceived threat versus self-care, just creating supportive practices that reflect kindness and avoid judgment. Like I'm doing the best I can. That switch right there to being self-critical to just, I'm doing the best I can, brings the nervous system into safety. Resistance versus acceptance. Resistance rejects the present situation, focusing on how things should be. Like I should be healed by now. Versus acceptance. This is where I am. Just as I am, as it is, even though it's hard, it's where I am. Moving out of resistance and into acceptance. The nervous system finally feels safe. Okay, also under the fixing mindset, outsourcing healing, right? Relying solely on someone else, another doctor, another guru, another practitioner to fix the issue versus a healing mindset, which is an empowered mindset, becoming your own healer, learning, growing, and taking full responsibility for your life and your health and taking a very active role. That mindset, going from fixing to healing, is what is keeping so many of you stuck. It's what kept me stuck for years. I also want you to know that a lot of this fixing mindset actually happens below our conscious awareness sometimes. These patterns, these beliefs, these deep-seated, a lot of them beliefs, are buried in the unconscious mind. And so you might think, I'm not really that way, or I'm not really. Take some time to really observe because so many of those tendencies are happening below your conscious awareness. Okay, so just to summarize, the fixing mindset is rooted in urgency and fear. And we know that that sends a signal to the nervous system that something is wrong, keeping it stuck in a heightened state of alertness, right? Which perpetuates dysregulation, which is the very cause of the symptoms that you're trying so hard to overcome. It prevents healing. And it truly is. This mindset is truly one of the most common reasons that I see people stay stuck. Okay. And then in the contrast, we have the healing mindset, which fosters trust and safety and ultimately regulation within the nervous system, creating an environment of rest and repair, of safety. You can finally let go of constantly trying to fix and control, and the nervous system can finally feel safe. I'm okay as I am. There's nothing broken, there's no immediate threat. And once it's able to move into safety, as you guys know, that's when the nervous system comes into regulation. Most chronic symptoms are our body's way of trying to tell us it's still in a state of perceived threat. That's it. It's that simple. And so the way that you're approaching your healing, the way that you're living your life, if you still have symptoms, your brain and nervous system are still in a state of perceived threat. What are those things causing that? You guys will have this little list. I'll email it to you tomorrow so you can refer back to this. I would have given anything to understand that these tiny little thought processes, a lot of them, again, buried in the unconscious, were the thing keeping me stuck. Once I finally made this shift and was able to remove and address all of this fixing mindset, this fear and this control, and shifting into a healing mindset, so many of my symptoms went away so quickly. I shared this during the workshop with Cardin. Same thing with Carden. It wasn't that I processed all my emotions and dealt with all of my trauma that my symptoms went away. Does that build capacity in the nervous system and help us heal? Yes. But for me, it was shifting this mindset. It wasn't mastering my breathing patterns or, doing everything to heal my nervous system. It was this mindset shift that allowed my nervous system to move from perceived threat to safety. And when that happens, symptoms can go away very quickly. Okay, so if you're here and you're trying to understand why am I not healing, I feel like I'm doing all of the things, I encourage you to become really familiar with. Really bring a lot of self-awareness on board because you're going to have to be able to observe when you are in the fixing mindset. Gotta become so familiar with that list, okay? This distinction between the fixing and the healing mindset is the determining factor in whether the nervous system stays stuck in a state of perceived danger or whether or not symptoms persist or resolve. It is the difference. It's not just about thinking differently either. It's about consistently approaching your body, your symptoms, your healing, kindness and patience and gentleness and reassurance. And that's what tells the nervous system it's okay to let go of all these protective mechanisms. When you align with the healing mindset, that's what gives your nervous system permission to relax, get out of survival mode, and that is the foundation for resolving your chronic health issues. Okay, I know so many of you here, you just want to heal. Of course you do. I know you want your symptoms to go away. And I also know that your symptoms are not the problem. They're your body's way of telling you there still is a problem. These lingering symptoms are signals that the body is still experiencing a perceived lack of safety. That's all that it is. And so to heal, we have to send more safety signals than danger signals. And in the last 6 months, we have talked about so many ways to do this, right? We talked about changing our internal dialogue from threat and criticism to kindness and compassion. That is so huge, something I still work on every single day. We don't just learn these things and say, oh, I mastered self-compassion. It's work we do every day, noticing when we're being too hard on ourselves, when we're putting too much pressure on ourselves, when we look in the mirror and we say something really degrading to ourselves. This work never ends. Okay, we also talked about how important it is to process emotions rather than bottle them up, creating that safety. We learned how to use the polyvagal theory in the last couple months so that we can show our bodies we're safe. Okay. We also talked about how to rewire the brain from fear and negativity to calm and safety. If you're still struggling with symptoms, you just need to continue to practice this work to make sure you're not approaching your healing with a fixing mindset. Okay, and the good news is that when you make that shift, you will feel better. You'll feel much better.